Apple Incorporated is one of the top computer and gadget creators on the market today. They have an important market share and have raised billions of dollars with the help of their great products that have taken the world by storm ever since they first appeared. Now Apple has a way of taking cool ideas, improving upon them, and sending its competitors on the chase to play catch-up. A few examples of technologies that Apple moved to the mainstream. The mouse. Today, a mouse seems as an integral part to a computer as a keyboard. But before Apple popularized the mouse when it introduced the Mac in 1984, that simply wasn't the case. GUI. Much like the mouse, it was Apple who first brought the concept of a graphical user interface to the mainstream when it introduced the Lisa computer in 1983. It was soon followed by the Mac in 1984. In an interesting piece of Apple history, Apple was first turned on to the idea of a GUI when Steve Jobs and other Apple executives took a tour of Xerox's Palo Alto Research Center in 1979. Multi-touch. Before Apple introduced the iPhone in 2007, most consumers probably had no idea what multi-touch technology was, except for perhaps a small minority of people who may have seen demos of the technology on YouTube. Today, using your fingers to interact with your phone has become the standard. Apple products have shaped our society in a totally different way. Apple products are still improving and being created. The iPod Touch, iPhone, and iPad have all been a big impact on society. You can read books on the products, search the web, play games, text, and make phone calls. You don't even need a computer anymore. Apple is not only a technological brand, but it has also grown to create a fashion trend in itself. With its aesthetically pleasing devices, highly sophisticated user-friendly systems, and the overall marketing image that the company cares for the customer's needs, it's no wonder that Apple has become one of the most successful brands of the 21st century. As technology gets better, will the society get worse? And how do we know what that inventor up there in his hold-up space is creating? Is it something that will be beneficial to society? Hello students, and welcome to this lecture on technology and society, where we will understand how technology has majorly impacted society. After the lecture, we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain the concept of technology and management. Understand the importance of management of technology. Define the conceptual framework for MOT. Describe MOT at firm level and national governmental level. Explain the current aspects of MOT. Let's start with a brief introduction to technology and society. The word technology has a wider connotation and refers to the collection of production possibilities, techniques, methods, and processes by which resources are actually transformed by humans to meet their wants. A technology is any systematized practical knowledge based on experimentation and/or scientific theory, which is embodied in productive skills, organizations, or machinery. Technology management involves the application of management skills to the discovery, development, operation, and proper use of technology. Technology managers help create value for the organization by using technology and other resources to solve problems and improve efficiency and effectiveness. let's discuss the concept of technology. Technology is a Greek word derived from the synthesis of two words, technet, meaning art, and logos, meaning logic or science. So, loosely interpreted, technology means the art of logic or the art of scientific discipline. A design for instrumental action that reduces the uncertainty in the cause-effect relationships involved in achieving a desired outcome. That is, technology encompasses both tangible products, such as the computer, and knowledge about processes and methods, such as the technology of mass production introduced by Henry Ford and others. A few of the major definitions of technology include the processes used to change inputs into outputs, the application of knowledge to perform work, the theoretical and practical knowledge, skills, and artifacts that can be used to develop products as well as their production and delivery system, the technical means people use to improve their surroundings. Knowledge and technology. Knowledge is both an individual and communal phenomenon. The commoditization, democratization, and arbitration of knowledge were furthered by the developing technologies in the latter half of the 20th century, the computer, digital, and cyber technologies. The information age has seen an unprecedented explosion in access to and availability of information. Information is now not bound by the physical restrictions of printed text, nor is access to information limited by geographical or temporal boundaries. Technology and business. An organization can be thought of as a vehicle for introducing one or multiple technologies to society. The goal is to achieve a set of objectives. The technologies used can vary in level, from being very basic on one end of the scale to being super high technologies on the other end. The organization can be non-profit or for-profit. Both types are considered production organizations, with production being any activity that results in the conversion of resources into goods or services.
When we get sick and visit a doctor, we leave with a prescription, a remedy, and instructions on how to administer the medication. The difference between remaining sick or regaining health is in the way we handle the remedy. Organizations are the same. Problems arise, and solutions or remedies are implemented to fix them. The success or failure of the implementation is in the way it was managed or handled. How are you handling the remedy? In your organization, is business driving technology solutions? Or is technology driving business solutions? Organizations need to move from business driving technology solutions and from technology driving business solutions to arrive where business and technology are driving solutions simultaneously. This can only be achieved through alignment. In the business and technology jungle, alignment of people, processes, and best practices is essential to transform into tomorrow's organization. The success of the transformation lies in handling.
Classification of technology. Technology can be classified in many ways. They are electrical machinery, apparatus, and energy. The field primarily covers the non-electronic part of electrical engineering. For instance, the generation, conversion, and distribution of electric power, electric machines, but also basic electric elements such as resistors, magnets, capacitors, lamps, or cables. This field is often associated with traditional electrical engineering, but the high patent activity shows that technological innovation is still very important. Audio-visual technology. It is largely equivalent to consumer electronics. The relevant IPC codes primarily refer to technologies, and only sometimes products are directly addressed. Telecommunications. It's a very broad field covering a variety of techniques and products. The codes are often quite technologically oriented, so it's difficult to separate relevant product application areas such as mobile communication in a clear-cut field. With almost 6% of all applications in 2005, telecommunications is one of the largest fields of the suggested classification. Digital communication. In classification, this field was part of telecommunications. At present, it's a self-contained technology at the border between telecommunications and computer technology. A core application of this technology is the Internet. Basic communication processes. This field is part of telecommunications. It covers very basic technologies such as oscillation, modulation, resonant circuits, impulse technique, coding, decoding. These techniques are used in telecommunications, computer technology, measurement, and control. Computer technology. This field is the largest of the proposed classification, with 6.4% of all applications in 2005. Its size is already reduced by extracting field. The core area of electrical digital processing is defined in a very technical way, so that a further breakdown is difficult. It may be possible to separate specific application fields such as image data processing, recognition of data or speech analysis, but then these special fields may become too small. IT methods for management. A major improvement of IPC8 is the introduction of the subclass. Data processing methods specifically adapted for administrative, commercial, financial, managerial, supervisory, or forecasting purposes. This field represents software for these special purposes. In most countries, business methods are not patentable, but if they are admitted, they are registered in this subclass. Semiconductors. The field comprises semiconductors, including methods for their production. Integrated circuits or photovoltaic elements belong to this field. The field includes microstructural technology, as the number of applications in this subfield is too small for a separate field. Optics. This field covers all parts of traditional optical elements and apparatus, but also laser beam sources. In recent years, new optical technologies such as optical switching have become more relevant. Let's now talk about the management concept. Management is the art of getting things done through people. Management is that field of human behavior in which managers plan, organize, staff, direct, and control human and financial resources in an organized group effort in order to achieve desired individual and group objectives with optimum efficiency and effectiveness. The nature of management is very easy to understand and flexible to implement. In the past, management was not considered as an important part of development. With Industrial Revolution during the 17th and 18th centuries, several economists expressed their concepts and function of management. Only in the 19th century, management became the separate field of study because business organization faced various problems regarding labor efficiency and wage payment systems.
It wasn't so long ago, maybe 25 to 30 years, when the world we work in was so different. Managers had big offices and secretaries. Everyone had a secretary. Computers were big and slow, and letters were written by hand and sent on a trolley to be typed. The air was conditioned by opening windows and the occasional fan. Drinks were brought around by the tea trolley, and the energy that powered and heated the offices came from coal. People worked 9 to 5. Life was slower, and a job was for life. Today, things are radically different. The desktop computer changed everything, and the office walls were torn down years ago. as offices became open plan. Layers of management were removed, and managers became their own secretaries, organising their own meetings and getting their own coffee from machines. The world started to demand everything in an instant, and employees have constant email access via mobiles and tablets. The world has become digital. Files are stored in server rooms. More technology in server space has made businesses power-hungry. Increasing pressures to reduce costs and run more efficient and sustainable properties have created a need for smart buildings. Over the next 10 years, there will be an even more radical change in the work environment than in the last 30. Survival and success will be built on flat structures and agile working practices, and the infrastructure needs of businesses will be radically redefined. Workplace expectations, like a desk and a phone, will disappear as hot desking and home working become the norm. 9 to 5 will be replaced by always on, and there will be no need for offices as we know them today, only hubs where people come together when collaborative working is the only way. The social needs of employees will be met by social media, and the cloud will bring the entire office network into the home. Future office buildings will be greener, run more efficiently, and will be utilising cleaner energy, such as wind, solar, waste-to-energy and biomass. Innovative local energy solutions will emerge where businesses and communities collaborate. For example, capturing the waste heat from a server centre to heat a local school.
The important aspects of management are acquisition and utilization of resources, environmental adaptation, goal achievement, problem solving, performance control, social responsibility, emerging challenges for management, globalization. Managers need to think globally and act locally. Technology. The new economy will be based on the digital revolution. The development in information technology will provide greater access to management. Management will need to manage changing technology effectively. Quality. Quality assurance is becoming more and more important. Social responsibility. Management will pursue long-term goals that are good for society. Empowerment. To empower a worker is a challenge to management. Human resource management. Management needs to deal with a diversified workforce and requires visionary leadership on the part of management. Organization design. Organizations will be leaning flat and becoming less hierarchical. Cultural sensitivity. Cultural value will change cross-cultural influences. Organizations are emerging as cultural systems. Change management. Managers will face the challenge of managing change. They will need to be aware of specific changes, and they're likely to impact the practice of management. Learning organization. Management needs to create a learning environment. Organization of the future will be predominantly knowledge-based. Now we will discuss management of technology. Management of technology, or MOT, is a conceptual domain of the organizational sciences and practices that recently have been recognized as being economically crucial. Trends such as the globalization of the marketplace, ever shorter product life cycles, and increasing collaboration among even competing organizations have led to increasing stress on organizations. It's an interdisciplinary field that integrates science, engineering, and management knowledge, as well as practice. The focus is on technology as the primary factor in wealth creation. Wealth creation involves more than just money. It may encompass factors such as enhancement of knowledge, intellectual capital, effective exploitation of resources, preservation of the natural environment, and other factors that may contribute to raising the standard of living and quality of life.
So what is IT management? First of all, IT management is a discipline. What kind of discipline is it? It is a discipline to manage IT resources. So IT management is not only about managing IT resources, it is about managing IT resources as per business needs or requirements. So keep in mind that IT department is serving the needs for the business. Without the business department, IT department is not doing anything meaningful. So it has to manage the IT resources as per business requirements. When we use the term IT resources, what does that actually mean? So the term IT resources entails both entities, tangible assets that are owned by the IT department as well as the staff that is working to meet the needs of the IT department. I have explained the term IT infrastructure in detail in one of my other videos. So the term IT infrastructure refers to most of the tangible assets that come under the umbrella of IT resources, including hardware and facilities. Software can be considered tangible in this context. Network, keep in mind that staff, documentation and business processes do not come under the umbrella of IT infrastructure. So these are just examples, not a complete list of functions that are going on within the domain of IT management. Budgeting, staffing, organizing, controlling, planning, delivering services, and so on. So keep in mind that the purpose of IT management is to manage IT resources as per business requirements, and all these activities plus more will be going on within this IT management domain to meet the objective of managing the resources. And some of these activities may not apply to some companies, but these are just examples.
Now let's talk about the conceptual framework for MOT. The basic concept of MOT as an interdisciplinary field of study and application illustrates how MOT creates a linkage among science, engineering, and management disciplines. There are also traditional fields in business administration that contribute to the management of enterprises, economics, finance, marketing, and public policy. The approach for developing the framework is abdicative. The addicative reasoning in this inference is sought out from the interrelated information to provide possible explanations to the object under study. MOT at the firm level. A National Research Council report on management of technology defined it as an interdisciplinary field concerned with the planning, development, and implementation of technological capacities to shape and accomplish the operational and strategic objectives of an organization. MOT is an interdisciplinary field because it involves combined knowledge from science, engineering, and business administration fields. It impacts different functional entities of the corporation: research and development, design, production, marketing, finance, personnel, and information. Its domain involves both the operational and the strategic interests of organizations. The operational aspect deals with the day-to-day activities of the organization, while the strategic dimension focuses on the long-term issues. MOT at the national governmental level. From a macro-level perspective, a more general definition may be appropriate for MOT. It can be defined as a field of knowledge concerned with the setting and implementation of policies to deal with technological development and utilization, and the impact of technology on society, organizations, individuals, and nature. It aims to stimulate innovation, create economic growth, and to foster responsible use of technology for the benefit of humankind. At the national level, more focus is placed on the role of public policy as it applies to the advancement of science and technology. Now let's explore the management of technology. The world is changing. Into the 21st century, the pace of change continues to increase. New technologies emerge and the dynamics of trade shifts. Management systems must also shift to cope with the change. These shifts create a totally new paradigm for business. The world post-World War II. World War II created a new order in the world. The industrialized countries dominated the scene. They had the major share of the world's productive capacity. Technology-based products were sold at home and all over the planet, creating great wealth for countries such as the United States, Britain, and France. Many industries flourished, and companies such as Ford, General Motors, General Electric, AT&T, IBM, and Westinghouse became conglomerates. The years after the war were the golden years of Western industry. The world today. The most pronounced difference between the world today and the world of yesteryear is the rapid pace of technological change. This pace is combined with variation in the scope of technology deployment. Global competition is also relatively new. Competition among nations has intensified in the 1980s and 90s, compounded by the emergence of new countries on the playing field. The pace of technological change. The magnitude and speed of technological change in recent years has been phenomenal. A very rapid rate of technological innovation is making it imperative to consider technology as the primary factor in influencing economic growth and prosperity. The U.S. National Science and Technology Council has noted that technology is reshaping our world at a speed unimaginable just a few decades ago. Technological changes have been of such magnitude that it's difficult for individuals and often for institutions to follow them. In several technological sectors, such as the information sector, more changes have occurred in the last few decades than in the previous few thousand years. The rate of change is increasing exponentially. Now in the end, let's summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Technology management involves the application of management skills to the discovery, development, operation, and proper use of technology. Technology managers help create value for the organization by using technology and other resources to solve problems and improve efficiency and effectiveness. Technology is knowledge applied to the creation of goods, provision of services, and improvement of our stewardship of precious and finite resources. On a negative note, it can also be applied for destructive purposes. New technology has made more information available to consumers. As more information becomes available, potential buyers become more aware of opportunities to obtain and use products. Telecommunications is a very broad field covering a variety of techniques and products. The codes are often quite technologically oriented, so that it's difficult to separate relevant product application areas such as mobile communication in a clear-cut field. Managing technologies implies managing the systems that enable the creation, acquisition, and exploitation of technology. It involves assuming responsibility for creating, acquiring, and spinning out technology to aid human endeavors and satisfy customers' needs.